What to do when you're getting mixed signals from your ex. This is Coach Lee, and I'm going to talk to you about what those mixed signals might mean and what you can do if you're wanting to get back together with your ex. Number one, I'm asked a lot, or people will just say, I know they're just playing games. And so the question is, are they playing games? Sometimes when an ex gives mixed signals, it can look like they're playing games, like they're trying to toy with your emotions to punish you, or some kind of sick, twisted game to attract you. At least they think that maybe it will do that in their mind, or that they're trying to get you to do something specifically by these games. And I'm going to tell you that a lot of times they are not intentionally playing games with you. It doesn't mean that games aren't happening or that it doesn't feel like a game, but a lot of times they're not playing a game, at least intentionally. A lot of times they are confused, and I'm going to get more into that in a little bit as to why and the chemical reason behind that and what you can do about that. But just know that it doesn't always mean they're playing games with you. Sometimes it's actually their effort to get back together with you, or to hope that things can be worked out, or to hope that their feelings change. And I'll get more into that in this video as well. So don't always assume that since you're getting mixed signals from your ex that it means they must be playing games with you, because that's usually not true. Sometimes it is, but that shouldn't be your first assumption when things don't make sense to you. Number two, you can actually cause them to appear like they're playing games with you, or to be giving you these mixed signals when you are too enthusiastic about getting back together. So let's say that they do reach out to you and you just celebrate and you seem like this is the greatest day of your life, and they get the impression that you think that the two of you are back together, or that you're going to get back together. If the person is not completely convinced that they want to get back together with you, this could alarm them. They could think that they have led you on, and that will cause them to pull back, because not only do they not want to hurt you again, but they also don't want the drama or the confusion or the responsibility and the pressure of being in this relationship when maybe they're not sure that that's what they want. And so a lot of times on a coaching session, I will explain to someone that their actions have probably caused their ex to be confused, to pull back, because they don't want to lead them on, and they're afraid to contact them now because they think if I do, it will lead them on. And so that's why sometimes maybe if you two get together and you have some fun together, it's a great experience, and you think we are back together now, and then you don't hear from them for days. A lot of times it's because they think that maybe they went too far, and that now that you think that the two of you are getting back together and they're not ready for that yet, and they pull back. And so one way you can prevent this from happening and give yourself a better chance of the reunion actually happening and the two of you getting back into a truly committed relationship is that when your ex comes to you and they want to talk to you, they want to hang out, or even if they want to talk about the relationship, that you show some reserve. I'm not saying that you be cold or cruel or unreasonable, but that you are not excited to just jump back in. And if they ask you about that, and sometimes they will, they'll say, is this something that you want, or is something wrong, or do you not want me anymore? They might even say something that direct. And one of the best things you can say is, well, I'm just not sure, because just a few weeks ago, days, months ago, whatever, you broke up with me. And obviously that can do a number on somebody. And so I'm just not sure what I want. I'm willing to take it one day at a time, but that's about all I can do right now. If you are afraid that that will upset them and hurt your chances, that right there tells me that the power dynamic of the relationship, rather than being of two equals who are equally interested in each other, equally desire each other, equally love each other, and equally treat each other well, that instead this other person really has most of the power, so to speak, and the leverage in the relationship. The other person should not cause it to where you are afraid to be honest because of their responses and actions. And if that's the case, you might just be best moving on. But if you do feel that, if you feel like that if you said that would make them mad or ruin your chances, still say it, because they need to know that you're willing to do something like that you're willing to be that bold and take that kind of risk, that's stating that you're not sure, knowing that this could discourage them. They need to know that. But I will tell you this, it's very unlikely to discourage them. As a matter of fact, it's more likely to do the opposite. It's likely to make them work harder and to realize that there are consequences to their actions. They didn't try to work on it. They didn't give you a chance. They just left the relationship, and that's not cool with you. That's not going to work long term. If someone doesn't even have the maturity and the relationship intelligence that says when things are difficult, when feelings fade some, when we have disagreements, that's when we work hard and we honor our commitment And if someone can't see that, yes, you should be cautious about them. You should be reserved. You should guard your heart to some degree. And I know that all we're told is to be vulnerable, open your heart, speak your truth, and all that kind of thing. But I think we've gone too far. I think that a lot of us need to pull back. We need to be more guarded. We need to be more strategic when it comes to people and relationships. And especially if someone has dumped you, you need to be cautious about proceeding forward with them because they could do it again. I'm not saying that you don't move forward with them, but you also don't just jump right back in and give it all back to them as though they have not wronged you in some way by just giving up on the relationship. And so this is a really good way to prevent these mixed signals because it gives them a goal. It gives them something to work toward. They realize that they don't have it all back yet. And so they can't treat it like just another option or that they have all that power back. They will be more focused on working the relationship out and on proving themselves to you, proving their loyalty again, and actually rebuilding the relationship. Whereas if they think that they got it all back, a lot of the motivation to do that won't be there. And you'll see these mixed signals that are obviously very frustrating. Before I get to number 3, get more information on my emergency breakup kit. And I also have the emergency marriage kit for those of you who are in marriages that are having trouble or where one person is separated or wants to divorce. And you can get those at my website, myexbackcoach.com. You can also book a coaching session with me or a coach on my staff there. And so that's the emergency breakup kit for people who have been broken up with and they want to get their ex back. The emergency marriage kit for people who have been left or have a spouse who's saying that they want to leave or they want divorce. And you can book a coaching session for one-on-one guidance with myself or one of my coaches at myexbackcoach.com. That's myexbackcoach.com. Number 3, another reason that they could be presenting mixed signals is that they have an unrealistic expectation of the number of options they have. Or to put it simply, they think they have a lot of options. When it comes to human behavior, we are actually less happy when we have too many options. Have you ever gone into an ice cream shop and they have 100 different flavors and you walk back and forth trying to decide, I want this, let me sample that, well, I'm not sure, I don't want to make the wrong decision because it's ice cream, so it's important. And that's how a lot of people tend to view relationships, partly because of social media. They think that since they post a picture on social media and it gets 500 or 5,000 or more likes, that must mean that in real life, they can just have their pick. And that attitude is terrible to bring into a relationship. What you should be doing when you go into a relationship and you decide I'm going to commit is that you burn the boats. That's what warriors used to do in the past. It means you can't just go hop on the boat and escape back to home. You're not leaving until the mission is done. Will other people seem attractive? Will you be interested romantically and think, wow, what a life I could have with them? Will they walk by and your eyes like what you see? Yes, that doesn't mean that you break your commitment. That doesn't mean that you see them as an option. Honoring our commitment is something that has fallen off a cliff in recent history in the world. And that's why we're seeing a lot of this. And one of the best things that you can do when your ex is acting like this, and you think it might be because they think they have a lot of options, is that you don't act like an easy option. And so that's some of what I was talking about in the previous point. You don't make it completely a given that you will take them back or that you will actually want the relationship again. Mystery is powerful. Let them think that you are confused as well. And if that makes them angry, you have got to say basically that, well, maybe we shouldn't be together. You've got to be willing to be that bold, or else you're not going to snap them out of this confusion that's resulting in the mixed signals. So if they seem to think that they have all these options, and goodness, they just don't know which one they really want, and they don't want to pick the wrong one because they might have someone better, that's not a good trait for someone who you are looking for in a relationship partner. And so don't be afraid to give them a bit of a stop, to actually make them think that maybe you don't want the relationship, even though that's probably something that alarms you because you think, I don't want to discourage them from coming back to me. But it can actually make you stand out. It can make them work harder because a sense of loss over something we had before can be very powerful. And it can make you seem like the most valuable option because a lot of times people do put a lot of intrigue and value into an option that maybe is not as definite and easy for them, at least until they become mature in their view of relationships. And then they would much rather take the peace and security and commitment of a relationship than the perceived emotional fun of imagining themselves with different people or going out and interacting with different people and flirting and all that kind of thing that gives us some chemical fun, but that long term is actually not what we really want. And that's why people keep searching. Number 4, I mentioned to some degree in the previous point, but if they're giving you mixed signals, sometimes it can mean that they don't understand love and emotions. You see, one of the things that we have given far too much trust and faith in is our emotions and letting them to steer us rather than logic and reason. Emotions have a place, but if we base our commitment to someone on emotions, we will constantly be tossed to and fro by every good-looking face, every nice body, every smile, every flirtatious smile, and it will cause us to always be looking around, checking our options, and baited away by emotional fun or fireworks or sky-high passion that will be temporary, because all relationships will have a fading of passion and those fireworks and the butterflies of the early days of the relationship. That's just a fact. They cannot be sustained forever. And people will chase that. They will chase what is called limerence. And I have a video about limerence. It's the sky-high fireworks of a new relationship where you're trying to discover everything about them because you want intimacy. It's what fuels you to get intimacy, to get to that place where you are intimate with them, where you know the facts and the feelings of their lives. You know about what they're going through, what they've gone through, what they think about things. And it's something that those sky-high emotions will cause you to chase. And once you've gotten a lot of those answers and there's a familiarity with this person, that's when a lot of the chemicals that cause you to chase intimacy will subside, because you have achieved the goal, and that is you have intimacy to some degree with this person. And so those fireworks of newness, because it is new, it's something undiscovered, and it's like opening a brand new world in so many ways. But you will just keep doing that, and you will have shallow relationships if that's all that you chase. And so a lot of people don't understand that their emotions should not be their guide when it comes to relationships. And if they're giving you mixed signals, it can very well be that their emotions are throwing them all over the place. Dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, vasopressin. These things can cause us to think that we have some sort of deep, mystical connection with someone, when really it's just nature causing us to feel certain things. And it will happen again and again and again. And the best thing you can do is get used to the idea that it will happen, and that you need to guard your heart. You need to turn your eyes back, turn your mind away, and back to the focus of your committed relationship, because these things are normal. Don't let it surprise you. Don't say, but I felt something. It was so intense. Well, of course you did. That's what you felt at the beginning of the relationship you're in now. That's what you felt at the beginning of the relationship that you were in before that. And if that's what you're chasing, you will keep losing it. And people need to understand that. Your ex needs to understand that. And that is something that you could even tell them if they start telling you that they're confused and that they have feelings for other people. It's okay to take a moment and give them a reality check on that. But then I would definitely let them know that you are not sure what you want to do because of their lack of understanding how emotions and love are not the same thing. And that in a committed relationship, that you don't just snap at every shiny object. Number 5 in the list of reasons why your ex might be giving mixed signals is a shallow one. It's that they like the attention. They like to know that it's easy to come get attention from you, to feel that you want to be with them, that you think they look great, that you just can't stand that the two of you are broken up, and that you want them back. Some people really like the validation that that provides. And so again, one of the best things that you can do is to leave some mystery. Let them know you're not sure about the future. And you have to be careful. You can't just volunteer it. But if they start talking about it, or if they start interacting with you and then back away, don't be the one to reach out to them. Let them come to you. And if they start talking at all about being uncertain of the future, agree with them. Say, I am too, because of what's happened. I don't know if I want to go through this again. It doesn't make sense. I don't want to risk myself again. And it might be best if we just move on. You could even suggest something that boldly if they are giving you lots of mixed signals and confusion. It's good to be bold when the other person is confused, because it can really get them to refocus on what's important instead of just sitting around wondering what options they have and acting like that you are just another choice in the day or on the menu. And remember, it never hurts to give them some mixed signals right back. Remember to get more information on my emergency breakup kit, the emergency marriage kit, and on booking a coaching session at myexbackcoach.com, myexbackcoach.com. This has been Coach Lee, and as always, thank you for watching.